This episode of Twin Cities Trekkies is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor before, let me explain. First of all, it's free. There are creation tools that help you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership required. They'll also help you to distribute your podcast so it can be heard on many different platforms, such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's all you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 31 of Twin Cities Trekkies. I am Wes.
And I'm Kenzie.
And today we're going to talk about predictions for Picard Season 2. Granted, that's the third time we're doing it now. Talk about Discovery Season 4. As of this recording, the first episode has come out. And talk about Prodigy. How we feel about it so far. Stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting to talk about. And also there is some news I want to talk about as well. There's like 4 big news headlines at least.
Yeah. Well, and controversy too. Like,
yes.
We talk about that. I saw you post about that.
Yes, it is really interesting what's going on. But first of all, to get in touch with us, it is simple. Send us an email at tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com. Please send us an email if you have any reaction to our episodes, have any suggestions or anything like that. We'll gladly take them. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. The handle is TC Trekkies Pod. And also you can send us voice messages. You can send us a voice message by going to anchor.fm/Twin Cities Trekkies. Click on that little message button and enable your microphone and start recording. And also, if you have a podcast of your own, genre podcast is not required. Send us a promo. No more than 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Granted, if it's a little bit over that, we can accommodate you. Send it to that tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com email address. Send it to that one. But just keep in mind that any feedback you do leave, vocal or written, may be featured in a future episode of this podcast. All right. Let's talk about the news. Obviously, we got to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Yes. So everyone was expecting Star Trek Discovery Season 4 to do the same way it has been doing it since 2017, which is on Paramount Plus in the United States, on Crave and the CTV Sci-Fi Channel in Canada, and then Netflix everywhere else. Well, as of last week, which was as of the 16th, Paramount Plus and Netflix decided to part ways after 4.5 years.
Very shocking, too.
After
but
4.5 years, this not unexpected. It was not unexpected news, but also very controversial.
Yeah.
Netflix decided to end its relationship with Viacom CBS overseas. And so as of this week, as of like the day after that happened, Discovery is no longer available on Netflix overseas after 3 seasons. So it is very controversial because of the poor timing.
Yeah.
And the announcement was that starting in 2022, early 2022, when Paramount Plus does expand to other areas such as Europe and stuff like that, Discovery will premiere on Paramount Plus.
Phrasing it in a positive, but it's like now everyone has to wait when they were excited about the premiere.
Yes, and and we're going to say this right now, we do not blame the cast and crew for this because they were under the impression when they were at Destination Star Trek London, which was the week before Discovery was out, for season 4, episode 1, they were under the impression that Netflix would be carrying their show for season 4. And then like 2 days after they got back, they find out that, we're going to be saying bye-bye to Netflix after 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Because that deal was originally negotiated in 2016 by CBS and stuff like that, Les Moonves and CBS. And, I have a feeling it's going to be a reverse controversy, because when it was announced that Discovery was going to be on Netflix and everywhere else but the United States and Canada, us United States fans were upset. So,
yeah, I remember being a little shocked by that, like considering the other Star Trek was available, like older series were available on Netflix. But you could see the flip side of that now. I feel like it was a poor implementation of rolling out Paramount Plus, like to make that decision. I mean, it's so many moving parts, right? Because like it has Netflix opinion and their decisions playing in, Paramount having to coordinate with that. And now Paramount's kind of on the hook to be like, hey, you better roll this out, because so many people were expecting to watch a premiere this week, or like coming up here, and now they will not be able to because they don't have Paramount where they are at.
Yes, and I'm a head admin of a group for Strange New Worlds on Facebook, and I had to tell my members, hey, I know that this is poor timing. We know this is poor timing, but if you want to watch it through a VPN and pay for it yourself, watch Paramount Plus that way, I am perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
but
I think
don't
a lot of people are
pirate
gonna have to resort. Yes, yeah, don't
pirate
it. Hurts the actors and everything that people have worked for.
Yes,
I'm like,
there's
something out for a watch party or something.
Yeah, do like that. It's kind of disappointing that 190 countries don't have Discovery anymore, and this also affects Latin America and Australia, who have Paramount Plus now. This also affects them. So, because it was on the Paramount Help page on Facebook that when Discovery does premiere in early 2022 on Paramount Plus in Europe and stuff like that, that's when they will be getting it as well. So, it is very jarring. It's very, very poor timing. Yeah. It is very, very poor timing. I
felt bad because I had seen a lot of reactions, a lot of really I guess
negative
reactions. Very polarizing reactions. People were like, I'm done with Star Trek now. Like, being like, I'm writing off Discovery because this is so poorly managed. But I just don't want people to blame like the actors and people who are producing the show, because I've just seen a lot of people taking it out on that, being like, wow, screw Discovery for this. And I'm like, it's not their fault. And it's also sucks.
No, it's not.
Like bad timing on multiple platforms, like not coordinating together. And it's like, it's not the actor's fault. It's not any of the show producers' fault.
No.
It's like,
no, it's not.
I'm like, don't give up.
They don't get mad at them. They were unaware of this. So, Anthony Rapp himself, who plays Paul Stamets, he's very active on Twitter. He did like a 7 or 8 tweet thread saying how disappointed he was about this, and a lot of the cast have come out on social media saying, to our international fans, we love you. We hope that you'll be able to see it in 2022. We're very proud of it and stuff like that. And it's really, and I see a lot of comments from people saying, like, I'm not gonna get Paramount Plus when it comes in my country. Screw that.
Yeah.
So, it's really disappointing. It is really disappointing. So that's the elephant in the room regarding Discovery and stuff like that. So it's unfortunate that only the United States and Canada are able to view it when it was supposed to premiere, which was this past week. Season 4 has now started, and it will go until at least until February, I think. At least to the end of February, or at least towards when Picard is supposed to start. But if they do what Lower Decks and Discovery did, or something like that, or Lower Decks and Prodigy did, there may be a 2-week window buffer, 2-week buffer. Who knows? Speaking of Prodigy, it has been renewed for a second year, which is actually standard practice for animated shows. But here's the kicker, season 1 is gonna have 2 mid-season breaks.
I didn't even hear that. Yeah. That's news to me, Wes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Prodigy's first 5 episodes are available now on Paramount Plus, and it is taking a break from now until January, when it will return with episodes 6 through 10. And then it'll be done in February, prior to Picard and Discovery ending. And here's the good thing about it is they're going to have 20 episodes for this first season. So, which is actually the longest of any of the Kurtzman era shows. So episodes 11 through 20 will be later on in 2022. So that's kind of exciting news, because it's the longest. Yeah. So, but it is standard practice for animated shows to be renewed for 2 seasons at a time. So
that's good though. Good to hear.
Yeah. So it's that's what's happening and stuff like that. So, and stuff like that. So, and also, I'm going to backtrack a little bit about the whole thing regarding Discovery. It doesn't affect Picard and Lower Decks yet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Big word yet.
Big word on the emphasis word yet, because of the fact, if it does launch before Picard overseas, I can see them, Amazon, or Paramount Plus and Amazon ending their relationship before season 2 starts. So, but that's a big if, folks. That's a big yet. So, but it is not unexpected, because this is something just be prepared for Picard and Lower Decks to probably go away sooner than you think off of Amazon if you're overseas. So, stuff like that. But that's stuff like that. No season 5 announcement yet for Discovery. We kind of expected. I mean, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just it may take a little longer to get there, but it'll get there. We'll get to the season 5.
I think with just how turbulent these past couple of years have been, I think everyone's just kind of making announcements fast and quick. They make it kind of just play by play, like how things are going and the atmosphere of the whole COVID situation across the world. And I think
especially
they give a lot more short
too.
Notice. Yeah, I know. Yay, Minnesota for losing at being the hotspot of the U.S. now for our 4th wave.
Yeah, really bad one too.
Reminder from Twin Cities Trekkies to get vaccinated and your boosters. Do it all for available. The better. If you're able to.
Do it for your community, man. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, geez. So, what else is going on? So, here's a really interesting tidbit of news. Came from John Van Sitters, who is actually an executive for Viacom CBS, but also the guy who does merchandising for Star Trek.
Oh.
He was at Destination Star Trek London before the Discovery debacle. That's what I gotta say now. Discovery.
Yeah, Discovery debacle. New catchphrase.
Yeah, he said that he was asked about a remaster of both DS9 and Voyager, and he said it is possible, and it probably will happen at some point. So right now, I know Paramount Plus has the remastered versions of both the original series and Next Generation, and stuff like that. And Enterprise, which was remastered for its Blu-ray release, be cleaned up and stuff like that. But as everyone knows, they were going to do DS9 and Voyager after TNG was over with on Blu-ray, but then the sales expectations did not meet what they wanted, so they decided to halt it after when TNG was over with on Blu-ray and remastering it. And I know I've seen a lot of people saying, well, why don't you just do it anyway? Do it for an extended for Paramount Plus. That's what I would want to do. Yeah, but I know that the effects from the later seasons of DS9 and Voyager, which were all CGI, would have to be all redone.
Mm-hmm.
All redone. So, and that could, potentially, have a hefty price tag. So, yeah, but
I mean, they're in decent. I feel like those series are in decent shape, I guess, for what they've done to clean them up a bit and have them on streaming platforms. It's not necessarily super native, I guess, unless people are looking to see a certain outcome from it being remastered besides enhancing it overall.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would like to see, that's kind of cool and stuff like that. Well, yeah. And we have some LeVar Burton news. 2 of them, actually, I should mention. I don't think I mentioned it the last time we talked, which was over a month ago. But he will be the Grand Marshal of the Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena on New Year's Day. So
cool.
That's cool. And he will be hosting a revival of Trivial Pursuit on television. So it's not Jeopardy, but it's the next best thing.
It's still super cool.
Yep. And the last time we had a Trivial Pursuit TV show was actually about 15 years ago, and it was hosted by the Brady Bunch's Christopher Knight. So we had one of those. We had a Trivial Pursuit game show about 10, 12 years ago. So, and we also have some Star Trek movie news. They decided to delay the release of the upcoming film by Matt Shakman from June of 2023 to the Christmas weekend of 2023. So, yeah. So it is due to Paramount reshuffling its releases due to the pandemic, and also for other things as well. It's maybe because of that. It's what's going to premiere in its place for Paramount is actually the next Transformers film in its place. So, but here's the really interesting part of it is Lucasfilm and Disney have not switched up the Rogue Squadron film for Star Wars, which is actually in limbo right now because of the director, Patty Jenkins, who's known for directing Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. And she was supposed to be directing this movie, Rogue Squadron, but now they're having some problems and it's been postponed, but they haven't changed the release date yet. So if this comes to fruition and the Star Trek movie comes to fruition as well, we could potentially have a Star Trek and a Star Wars movie come out on the same day.
That would be so
in 2023. That would be so cool, and also very, very nerve-wracking for Paramount. Nerve-wracking for Paramount because, Star Trek is not a big moneymaker for films, has never been. But, granted, the first 2 JJ movies were.
I was going to say, those are pretty popular.
Yeah. In the Darkness is the biggest one of the franchise, making the most money, but it's not making, Marvel or Star Wars money, which that could potentially make a lot of problems if they were to release on the same day. So, and the script's being rewritten, by the way, for the Star Trek movie, which is standard practice. That's standard. So that is also what's going on with that movie as well, but it's still on track. Nothing has changed other than the release date. So from June 9th of 2023 to December 22nd. So, we'll have the first Star Trek movie released in December since Nemesis. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be a Christmas weekend.
I'm not even sure what to expect or like what
I don't know.
It's a total mystery to me. I don't know what I even want out of a Star Trek movie right now. Like,
nor do I.
Yeah, until I actually hear like what it's gonna be focusing on, I guess. I think we'll hear more about it.
I think we'll hear more about it
I mean,
year.
I liked all three of the new movies, like the Kelvin timeline movies.
Yeah.
They're all really great. I feel like it's gonna be kind of maybe not so much a hard follow up, but just how to even jump back in again.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I know that they wanted to do. I mean, the head of Paramount had said recently that he wants to do more Star Trek movies. Not just one, but there are multiple films in development, including possibly an animated movie. So, which would be interesting to do. I know, interesting. I mean, it could involve the cast of Prodigy. Who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing that because it'll get kids more excited about Star Trek. And I know that we'll be talking about Prodigy in a little bit, but I just know that Prodigy has gotten kids excited about Star Trek. So, I mean, at least I've seen on social media. So, yeah. So those are the big news makers lately.
Lots of
Star
news
Trek.
Review.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's exciting though, because, for the first time in so many years, there's like consistent Star Trek news because, things are always happening and being created, and there's a lot of cool stuff out there to watch.
Yeah, and the last time I did an episode for us was about franchise fatigue, and I know that it could be a potential problem, but the difference between the Berman era and this era of Star Trek is that all 5 shows have different storytelling styles.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're more geared to certain other people. Like people who are geared to more serialized stories can go to Picard or Discovery. If you want to make fun of Star Trek, you want to have a little good laugh, go watch Lower Decks. And if you want to have an episodic Star Trek, you can have the upcoming Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to introduce your kids to Star Trek, introduce them to Prodigy. So and stuff like that. Even though it's really good for adults too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
It's a great show for both. I've enjoyed it so far. It's like a lighthearted with still like serious undertones, but like just a little more. You're looking for something animated, but not as like goofy and fun as like, not saying it's not fun, but just a different type of humor, I guess, like less adult humor. Just something a little more lighthearted and young at heart. Like that's why I think Prodigy has been nice.
Yeah, we can talk about Prodigy first and all. It's okay. We can go on to predictions later on, but I've watched all 5 episodes of the first so far, and the next 4 are going to be released in January. The next 5 are in January, but it's been really fun watching Prodigy. I mean, I have been thoroughly surprised at how good it is. Because I have been like, I watched them. I go like, wow, this is actually stuff I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'd watch all the time. I've been pleasantly surprised by Prodigy. I just think it's really great. I mean, I like all the characters.
Yeah, I like each of the characters, and I love the art style. When I first seen it, I was a little like, it's like very much like I've seen a lot of people say it just looks like Star Wars animation, like the Star Wars animated, but it's so well done, and it's just fun to watch. It's just eye candy, and it's exciting, and seeing seeing a Federation ship animated like that was just awesome. And the helm being completely like see-through, I thought was pretty neat too. Like seeing it completely like that, I was like, that's a cool design.
Yeah, and I thought this was, I mean, all the characters are not human, which is a first for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
All the main characters are not human. So, which is actually, I know that.
And the closest human we got is a hologram.
Yeah, hologram Janeway.
Yeah, holograms are saving the day once again.
Yeah, I know. And now they've actually changed. In the first few episodes, you see the credits. It says, and Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway. But then starting in this last episode, Terra Firma.
Yeah.
It says, and Kate Mulgrew as hologram Janeway.
Yeah.
So I know it's been a little bit confusing because it's been like, because Kate Mulgrew refers to her character as hologram Janeway while the credits say Captain Janeway.
Yeah.
So it's funny though. I mean, it's great. Got a little humor in there somewhere, but I have been very pleasantly surprised by how good it has been so far. And we're only five episodes in, and it's like, whoa. And we finally get to find out what the propulsion system of the Protostar is.
Yeah.
In the last one, it's a Protostar.
It's just so cool, and I look forward to it because it's just such a different story than we've had for Star Trek. Like, most Star Trek stories have started with the Federation. You start from the Federation. We're going in as Federation folk. This is like the Federation has been hidden from all of these people who are now on their ship who have no idea what the Federation is, that are just trying to start a new life for themselves after kind of living a really droll and meek life. And now they get to discover all these secrets that have been kept from them.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really interesting to see that happening. Like, I know that most of they have no idea what the Federation is. And that was intentional, obviously, by the creators, Kevin and Dan Hageman. But that was intentional. But I think I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good show. And I'm going like,
it's refreshing. I definitely have been recommending it because it's like, I think a lot of people get burnt out on like not knowing. Like, that's my biggest thing when you talked about franchise burnout. I think even just like storyline burnout in franchises can also be a thing. Just like, know how they start, like it comes with some territory of knowing the background. Like, oh, these people went to Starfleet Academy and they joined like a starship and a crew and they're on a mission. And you could kind of get a sense of like, that's how things start, for most Star Trek series. And people know that kind of going in, or if you haven't watched a lot of Star Trek, you're made aware very quickly that that's how that works. But this is really refreshing because you don't have to have any background of knowing about the Federation or Starfleet or that kind of backstory, because that's not the backstory. So this would actually be really fun to introduce to people who don't know Star Trek at all. To be like, well, now you could be same as the characters in the show and know nothing about it and discover what the Federation is and what the world of Star Trek is, just like these characters.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that these characters are like, and I can definitely tell, I can see this happening next year when Playmates starts releasing toys based on the new shows. I can see people picking up toys based off of Prodigy and playing with them. Mm-hmm. Having their own ventures with Dal and Rock Talk and
I love Rock Talk.
Gwen.
I think that's my favorite. First, just like when they finally get the translator, and I was like, wonderful. I was like, Rock Talk's voice, perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's voiced by like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, so I was like, what a joy.
Yeah, I know, and I didn't expect that. When they got all the we didn't know who they were when they released the characters.
Yeah,
we
it
didn't
was all
know who
just
they.
like it was just a bunch of faces with no names to characters yet. So
No names, no faces, no voices of the characters. And I'm going like, and I thought that the Rock Talk would be acting like Patrick Star from SpongeBob. Nope, that was not the case. So, and I love Rock Talk. I mean, I like them all.
yeah,
I think the funniest character is Murph, the
yeah,
little slime character. Yeah, so
Murph is great.
yeah, I like Murph. You know, he doesn't talk in English, obviously. He does all this,
But he knows what's going on.
yeah, exactly. And it's and I've heard of the actor who plays Murph. D. Bradley Baker voices Murph. He, I'm a huge '90s Nickelodeon fan and stuff like that. He is the voice of Olmec in Legends of the Hidden Temple, so the game show, which got revived recently on the CW. So that's kind of nice. You know, it's really kind of cool. I love this show. And and John Noble as the diviner, is the main villain of this season. And I'm going like, I knew him already from Fringe.
Yeah.
But I love Fringe too. But I kind of fell out of it after like I don't know, like 5 episodes or something like that. I kind of fell out of Fringe. But because it felt too much to me like the X-Files, which I know that was their intention. But John Noble is the diviner in this show. He's got a lot of beefs.
Mm-hmm.
And now this whole shit that he wanted, now he's actually seeing what it does.
Yeah, after all this digging and looking for it.
Yeah, and now he knows what it does now. Apparently the Protostar has this Protostar warp drive. So that's what that third nacelle is for, that you see in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to come back January when it comes back for the next 5 episodes and stuff like that. So, it's okay. That's awesome. I love Prodigy. It's been fairly surprising for me.
Yeah.
So
it's been very pleasantly surprising. And I kind of always figured I was a little biased because I love Janeway anyway, and I also love animated shows. So that to me already like kind of brought me in being like, well, this would be hard to disappoint me. And so watching it, I was like, okay, so now I'm really super pumped about this.
And not only that, she drinks coffee just like the regular Janeway does.
Yes,
hologram Janeway.
I know. I love that. That's just such an integral part of her that it's like they have to make sure the hologram also drinks coffee. It's just for the
totally,
of it.
And yes, exactly, and it's a nice little subtle hint that if you like Prodigy, go watch Voyager. So. It's pretty much the same concept, but it's more watered down for kids.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think it's a great way to have a lot of young Star Trek fans. It's like you said, like you watch that, and then you'd have kids wondering, well, who is Janeway? And then getting to watch Voyager and being like, well, guess what? This is actually kind of pulling from an original captain from another series, and watching all of that. That's the series I grew up with as a kid, watching that. So that to me would have been exciting, seeing something like Prodigy and being like, oh, I know her. Like, I know who that is.
Yeah, and I hope down the line we actually get to see the real Janeway and hologram Janeway interact. I would love that. But I know that Chakotay will be in Prodigy this season.
Yeah.
That was a nice surprise when they revealed that at New York Comic Con. I did mention that when we did the first mini episode about a few weeks ago. I mentioned that Robert Beltran will be returning as Chakotay in Prodigy. So because he had revealed it at the convention in Vegas that he was going to say, "Oh, I'm going to do that thing that Kate's doing," and stuff like that. Well, we didn't know.
Yeah.
He mentioned at the Vegas convention saying, I'm going to do whatever Kate's doing right now for Star Trek. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But we didn't know he was going to be Chakotay yet. But we're going to know he's going to be Captain Chakotay. I wonder if we're going to run into Voyager on this series. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Is there going to be some weird thing like this is actually like, I don't really know. I'm kind of interested of like when did someone decide to make a hologram Janeway? It was like after they returned. How long did that happen after? Like I was just trying to picture like timelines and like how far along did it take in Federation history after Voyager returned to make a hologram of Janeway? Or did they do it while they were missing for all those years, being like, well, let's remember her and commemorate her by making an emergency Captain hologram because I don't know, the commemoration. And it's like, when is this taking place? Like, is Voyager still lost somewhere? Or is this in the future, long after?
From what I understand, the Hagen Member said it takes place about 5 years after Voyager. 5 years after Voyager. So, but if you remember from an episode of Voyager called Hope and Fear, which is the 4th season finale, one of the Starfleet admirals had mentioned to Janeway in like a communique or something like that, or the data stream, that they were redirecting 2 deep space vessels to their position. One of them could have been the Protostar and just got lost.
Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. Is learning about the crew that used to exist on that.
On the Protostar, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you they made it to that planet, and they were. I think they're part of the prison population somewhere. So I mean, that's a great way to start out the show, though. You start out on this bizarre alien planet in the Delta Quadrant, apparently, and you get to see Kazon for the first time since Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice little tribute there to Voyager with the Kazon and stuff like that. This completely alien planet.
Yeah.
And you got all these characters who find this ship and then they blast off. So it is so cool. And it's great. I mean, I love it. I can't wait to watch more of it. I mean, I'll probably watch all the 5 episodes again before it comes back. Who knows? I mean, who knows? All right.
I'm looking forward to it. I've just had fun watching it, and Fletcher's been having fun watching it with me, and he hasn't watched that much Star Trek. He's kind of my litmus test of like how approachable something is because he didn't grow up really watching Star Trek. Like his dad loves Star Trek, but he didn't really watch it himself, and so I always try to show him stuff to see like how approachable is it? Did it feel like you understood like what was going on? Or does it feel like something only Star Trek insiders would appreciate?
Yeah.
And it felt very much like this is a cool show and it's lighthearted. It's not too much to keep track of. Like, I think that's one of the things, like, I've met with a lot of people who I guess are overwhelmed in their lives, like don't want to watch a show where they're keeping track of almost like an appendix of characters and political things happening and like, some people like really complex shows, but some people also just want to put on something where it's helpful and feels nice to watch and it's fun. I think that's where something like Prodigy feels really good. It's like not too much craziness going on where it's dark or feels scary, I guess.
Yes, totally. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, and it's like, I think Prodigy would be a show that, if you were like a person and you had small children or something like that, you would introduce them to this show if they were interested in what you were watching. So that's all I gotta say. Well, Discovery Season 4. Let's go over that for next. Now, I want to mention this because I was invited to the virtual premiere for Season 4. So I have seen the first 2 episodes of Discovery before everyone else did.
How many people did that? Was it?
Oh gosh, it was a lot of people.
Okay. I was just wondering how exclusive or like how many people have gotten to see this.
Someone how I got to it was like someone had shared it somewhere, like the link to the Google document to sign yourself up. And I got an email like the day before saying like, you've been invited to the Starfleet Academy class, graduating class of 3189. And here's the code, and here's like that. Here's what happened, and stuff like that. I mean, I could talk about like how my experience was.
Yeah, I mean, like that's all right. Yeah, it's cool that you got to do that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
What a thing to organize.
Yeah, and I had like, and there was a bunch of people that I knew from other Star Trek fan Facebook groups and stuff like that, podcasters that I know indirectly who were there and stuff like that. And it was fun. I mean, we watched episode 1, which dropped this week, called Kobayashi Maru.
Nice.
And spoiler alert, they actually have a little tribute to Enterprise.
Nice.
In it. Even musical tribute too.
Oh, we got a little Faith of the Heart?
No, actually, the end credits theme.
Oh, good.
The end credits. Do, 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 do. Yeah. So, and we got to meet new characters. One of which is the Federation president, who is get this, Cardassian, Bajoran, and human.
That's quite the combo.
Yeah.
Drama combo.
Her name is Rilak. So, so we have a Federation president for the first time since Star Trek 6.
Yeah.
From DS9. The last time we had a Federation president who was talking and stuff like that was DS9. But so we have
confirmed back in the Federation Earth. Got a human.
So it's I mean, the first episode's amazing, obviously visually stunning, obviously, because it's, and stuff like that. And it's great. It's a great season premiere. The ending is shocking. Of the first episode is actually quite heartbreaking. I don't know if I should spoil it for you, Kenzie, but Book's planet gets destroyed.
Yeah.
My heart broke. My heart broke for him. Kuei Zhang got destroyed. So spoiler alert to those people. And I'm not allowed to divulge. Like right now, I'm not allowed to divulge episode 2 spoilers because
by the time this comes out,
by the time it's come out, episode 2 will not be out yet. But the day after that, it will be. But it was actually a nice surprise because after the first episode had been done and stuff like that, we did like a Starfleet Academy kind of thing. We had like a little course in engineering, command, and science. And there was a trivia segment. Unfortunately, I couldn't participate. So, but I tried to, but you had to do it from your phone, and I don't have Zoom on my phone. So
too bad.
I had fun watching other fans take care of it.
Yeah.
And then there was, at the end of it, there was supposed to be a surprise. At the end of the whole thing was supposed to be a surprise from the cast and crew of Discovery. And the announcement was, you're going to watch episode 2. I was like, really? I expected a 5th season renewal.
Yeah.
So I would know like, hey, it's been renewed and I can't tell you, And then before episode 2 came out, that is when Paramount Plus came out with a like you are not allowed to divulge anything about what you're about to see. So
yeah, that's all right.
And so it's okay. But I tell people, I saw both episodes. I tell people you are going to be surprised of how good this actually is. And even though if you're an international fan and you decided to wait until Paramount Plus launches in your market, which is in Europe or any other place that will launch in 2022, it will be worth the wait. Trust me, it will be worth the wait.
It's good to hear.
That's how it. So, but we have this anomaly, which is threatening the rebuilding of the Federation. So it's apparently, according to stats in the trailer, it's 5 light years wide. It's a pretty big thing, and apparently it destroyed Quajon. So at this point, so
as far as we know,
as far as I know, that's So it's 5 light years across and stuff like that, and it threatens the galaxy, and pretty much threatening the rebuilding of the Federation. Apparently they have numbers about what it was when they came through the wormhole and into the 32nd century. There were only 38 member worlds, and we had 150 towards the Picard era. I mean, the 24th century. We don't know how long it was before that. How many before the burn, but and now it's at 59. So, and they have a little, and the first episode has a little bit of Into Darkness vibe, especially in the beginning part.
Yeah.
Because it's like a second contact gone awry.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
I was hoping for season 4 Discovery that we see the Klingons again. That's kind of my big, like, when are we seeing them again?
The Klingons again, yeah. And I hope that we get to see them. We did see Klingons in Lower Decks. Klingons in Lower Decks. So that's always nice. But definitely, I wouldn't mind seeing the Klingons again for Discovery Season 4 or even Picard Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my take on. I don't know what else to say about Discovery Season 4 other than I've seen episodes before everyone else has.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
I don't like the fact that I didn't like the episode title for episode 2 because it was called Anomaly. But my personal opinion, that was a reuse of the same title. Why?
Yeah.
Same title from Enterprise. And Enterprise's episode with the same title was really good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Very interesting. So, but the meat and potatoes of this podcast is going to be about Picard Season 2 predictions, our third take of those, because of the trailer we got at Star Trek Day a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exciting to see that.
Yeah. I honestly am just so unsure what to expect, but also, I mean, I just know, like, anytime Q does anything, I feel like he's doing it for the betterment of people, and I like to believe that it's for the betterment of not only humanity but also Picard. Even like he adores Picard. He wants to help him, even if it's like a tough love. He always gives him tough love.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, he does that and stuff like that. Yep. And
Picard's biggest fan is definitely Q. Even if he likes to give him a lot of crap, I feel like that's the biggest thing is he's always Picard's biggest fan. That's why I can't leave him alone.
Yeah, I can't leave him alone and stuff like that. Keeping tabs on him probably for the last 20 some odd years and stuff like that. But the whole time travel thing is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the 21st century and
I feel like I feel like there's going to be. I like to believe it has to be something about getting things set up to do first contact and changing up how that goes. Like the approach toward that.
Yeah, that's my guess, because I think that the whole Federation turned it into this totalitarian state. Probably something that did in the 21st century that, allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
I bet you. I think we're gonna hear Picard swear for the first time in English. Because in the trailer he says, "Q, I've had enough of your bullshit,"
Yeah.
and he snapped the fingers. Well, you know it's gonna be bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you didn't have to like, I understand if you have kids walking around, you don't want to have the word bullshit around. Yeah. So, but it's gonna say bullshit. So, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that whole. I wonder what event in time did this. I'm kind of curious, about this. Like going back to Southern California in the 21st century. Well, it could be before that whole thing that Janeway mentions in Future's End. Mm-hmm. It was probably at the Hermosa quake in 2047.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be interesting to see what they're focusing on in that time period. Like what happens in the 21st century that like sets them up for things like that's changing how the future is going to play out. Like, why is it important?
Yes, totally. Yeah. I think that we will definitely see. I have a feeling we'll see the Enterprise somehow.
Yeah.
I still think that. Because like I mentioned in the episode we came back from, I said that there was that silhouette of a Sovereign class starship on the prepping director's office door. So I just think that we will be seeing the Enterprise, if not in season 2, then for sure in season 3.
Yeah.
So because all the LCARS displays that Terry Matalas has shared on Twitter, and stuff like that, and you got the Akudas, and you got MacKenzie Akuda and Doug Drexler working on season 3 of Picard. So I think
also
if it's not going to
like guest appearances,
yes,
or like people who will be on the show that we've known before, that's also
yes, I think so. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. That's I mean, I wasn't excited about Discovery. Because I thought, it's an anomaly. What are you gonna do? You gonna blow it up? How are you gonna blow it up? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. I mean, it's good so far. I'm hoping it'll get better. But right now, I'm just like, it's an anomaly. Threatens the galaxy. Well, we've already experienced that kind of storyline before in TNG in the final episode. Even though it was all made up, even though it was all Q's idea.
Yeah, that's Q, what I'm like. All right. What shenanigans?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this whole 2022 year of Trek, because we got Prodigy still, we'll have Picard, and we'll have Lower Decks season 3, and we'll have more Prodigy, and the TM and the motion picture director's cut in HD. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see that all happen.
Yeah. It's a great year to be a Trekkie.
Yes, definitely. It'll be a great year, hopefully. And hopefully by the end of the year, no more COVID.
Yeah. I think that's been the weirdest thing to live with. It feels like we're something of our own sci-fi experience happening right now with COVID. It just feels almost like a weird, like, are we in a sci-fi, like, ominous warning story now? It feels like we've run into a weird sci-fi story that we're living in right now.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like, I wonder if COVID's going to be mentioned in like a footnote and trying to find what the event in time that causes the Federation to be totalitarian.
Well, that's why I was kind of wondering, like, I'm like, are they going to somehow tie in that because of like the time period, just being like, screw it, guys, let's do it. And like bring in it, which it is important. This is like the biggest for Earth, the biggest pandemic that we've had in a very long time in the history of humanity. The last big one was the Spanish flu, and that even now we are starting to I guess relatively face those numbers. We've surpassed the amount, but relatively we haven't passed it based on our population, but it's still going, and people are going in third and fourth waves, and it'll just be, I mean, it's a big part. We're living through history right now, and it's a big part of Star Trek history now too, because of just doing production during this time, changes and how stuff is produced and done, and it'll just kind of be there. So I feel like an important thing if you're referencing the 21st century in the Star Trek universe, I guess COVID is kind of a pretty big thing now. Pretty defining feature of the 21st century.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they mention, excuse me, I wonder if they'll mention COVID at all.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I know that they probably won't, but who knows?
Yeah. So. Lots of predictions, though. Lots of hope for these upcoming shows. And then just continuing forth with Prodigy, and I'm looking forward to it all. Got a lot of catching up to do.
Yep, and I think the whole thing is going to go like this. It's going to go like Prodigy, Discovery at the same time, which is actually, this past week was the first time since May 26, 1999 was the last time we got 2 episodes of Star Trek in the same week. So it was the finale of season 5 of Voyager, which was Equinox, and the next to last episode ever of Deep Space Nine, The Dogs of War. So
pretty cool.
Yeah. So May 26, 1999 was the last time we had 2 episodes of Star Trek airing at the same time. So that's it. Any final thoughts?
Lots of shenanigans to come. That's for sure.
Oh yes, definitely. We got Strange New Worlds coming up in 2020. Yeah, Strange New Worlds in 2020.
I'm like, we got another one to be, and that'll be really cool. It'd be back to this episodic, like very just episode by episode. Like, give me the creature of the week. Like, who is the biggest enemy for this episode? Be fun to watch an out of order Star Trek again.
Yes, and it'd be really funny if they did this. They would like air the 10 episodes out of order.
Yeah, you piece them together. How would you put these in order? And it's like, yes, you can. Yeah,
that'd be funny if they did that. A nice little tribute to the original series.
Mm-hmm. I like it. It's really great. I'm looking forward to that show because my biggest, I guess, when we've had a previous episode talking about how to get people into Star Trek, my biggest gripe with newer series is it's really hard to get people in without making them commit to watching a show, which I feel like a lot of people are a little standoffish about if they can't like binge it, I guess. But also sometimes people just want to put on an episode and watch it and not have to worry about a story arc. And the original series is great for that. But as you start, and also Next Generation, you can do it with as well. But it feels nice to have a new show that you'd be like, hey, you want to watch this? It's a new series, that has the cinematography and likes of like a new Trek, like Discovery, who was just amazing cinematography. And it's like I'm watching a movie, just movie value directing. But I just look forward to having a very just individual episode Star Trek again. You just pop on like a best of these, or just watching like certain episodes that you think are great.
Yes. So episode 32 next week is going to be an overview of Lower Decks Season 2.
What a hoot.
I know. What a hoot of that show is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be like a general overview of how we felt season 2 was. I mean, that's pretty much what it would be. So, until next week, take care and live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.